Shavua Tov, a gute Woch, uberuchim habaim. Today is Shvat. Shvat has two meanings. One, it's the Yortzeit of the previous Rebbe, and it is the beginning of the Nesias of the Rebbe. Before we get to Shvat, if you look behind me, you see the sign, Chalukah Shulchan Aruch Admor HaZoken, and it says there from Chavdalet Teves Tovshin Pei Dalet this year until Chavdalet Teves Tovshin Pei Hei, that this is the distribution of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. If you go into alterrebbe.org, as it's on the screen, alterrebbe.org, you will get to the distribution of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. And there you will find the entire Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. And the Rebbe says many times that the hiskashrus to our Rebbe, the connection with our Rebbe, is by learning his Torah. In terms of the Alter Rebbe, we say Tanya every day, and this is also part of the Shulchan Aruch. That's the Torah of the Alter Rebbe. So by taking a part in the Shulchan Aruch, from this Chavdalet Teves, you have a whole year. You can take a smaller part, a bigger part. Not only that, you will check that there is Chalukah Aleph, that it's almost taken, and there's also Chalukah Beis, and there's Chalukah Gimel and Chalukah Dalet. The significance of that is that if something was already taken in Chalukah Aleph, you can take it in Chalukah Beis. And if it was already taken in Chalukah Beis, you can take it in Chalukah Gimel, and so on. So if you go in, you will see what you want and what you, in what part you want to participate in the Chalukah of the Shulchan Aruch of the Alter Rebbe. And the Rebbe mentions that's the same thing as Chalukah Hashas, that if you learn one part, you become a shutif in everything. Not only in one Mesichta, you become a shutif in everything. As the halacha is in shutfis, that, and it's a whole omnus in shutfis, that everyone has everything. It's not that one shutif has 50%. If he's a 50% shutif and the other one has 50, every part of the shutfis everyone has. So there's the same thing in the learning, alterrebbe.org. And the rest you will see Im Yotze Hashem for yourself, and you will make the right decision as to what your participation should be. Concerning Shvat, mentioned it's the Yortzeit of the previous Rebbe. It's the beginning of the Nesias of the Rebbe. And that is something that is Beseder HaKirvo Eleinu, the expression the Rebbe uses, in the order of what is closer to us, it's the Nesias of the Rebbe. And when the Rebbe started saying the Maimer, Bosi Legani Achesi Kalo, it's the Maimer that the previous Rebbe gave out to learn for the day of his Istalkis. And this is the first Maimer, the first official Maimer the Rebbe said, on Yud Aleph, on Yud Shvat, Tovshin Yud Aleph. As we're always talking about a story, the story today is also about this Maimer. I heard the story from two people, personally. One is the Rebbe's secretary, Rabbi Yehuda Leib Groner, and the other one is a wonderful, wonderful Jew. I had the privilege of being friendly with him, Reb Tzvi Hirsch Gansburg. And they both told me the story in their own language, but it's the same details of the story. There was the Fabringen, and the Fabringen started, and the Rebbe said a few sichas. There was a Jew whose name was Rabbi Avram Sender Nemtsov. Rabbi Avram Sender Nemtsov was 80 years old at that time. And after the few sichas, Rabbi Avram Nemtsov stood up and he said, Nimtzochein, we're asking to find benevolence in the eyes of the Rebbe. Whatever the Rebbe said is very good. Aber Chsidim beten a Maimer. Chsidim are asking for a Maimer, and it's known by Chsidim. What is the Kabbalah's Ansiyas of a Rebbe? When do you see that the Rebbe accepted the mantle of leadership, the Nesiyas, when he says a Maimer? It didn't take long after that, and the Rebbe said, Zog the Rebbe b'ma'amor eliyem istalkusei, bos ilegani achesi kalo, and the Rebbe started the Maimer. The way the Rebbe said the Maimer, that he said the Maimer in parts. First he said one part, and another part, When the Rebbe finished the first part, this I heard again from the Rebbe's masker, a Chossid Rabbi Yehuda Leib Groner, and from the Tzvi Hirsch Gansburg. The Avram Sender got up on the table, and he said, and he exclaimed, he pronounced, Yidden, mir hoben a Leben. And then he made a bracha, Baruch Ato Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam shechiyonu v'kimonu v'giyonu lizman hazeh b'shem Malchus. And everybody was watching the Rebbe. The Rebbe answered Amen to his bracha. Now, you're going to think that maybe this was a Jew that was looking to make a statement, to make history, which is not the case, but we're only human, we think all kinds of things. This Jew, the Avram Sender Nemtsov, was 80 years old at the time. He had a Richos Yomim V'Shonim Tevis. He lived another 16 years till he was 96. In those 16 years, you didn't hear a word from him. If this would have been a Jew that likes to make a statement, that likes to talk, that wants to make history, whatever you want to think, you would hear, you never heard anything from this Jew again. Moreover, the Avram Sender Nemtsov lived for many, many years in Manchester, England. He was the father-in-law of Dr. Nissen Mendel, the Rebbe's top secretary. The Frierdiker Rebbe, the Rebbe. And he lived in Manchester, as mentioned, for many years. In 1937, the previous Rebbe came to Paris for reasons of health. He stayed in Paris a few days, and it was known by Chassidim that in Paris he will receive people for Yechidus. This I heard from my cousin Rebbetzin Hadassah Karlbach, the daughter of the Zalman Schneerson. And the reason she knows the story and she remembers the story, because the place where the previous Rebbe took Yechidus was in Paris, 10 Rue Dieu. This is the place where Zalman Schneerson lived. And the room in which the Frierdiker Rebbe took Yechidus was the Zalman Schneerson's bureau, his office. In that room he took Yechidus. The Rebbe stayed in Hotel Moderne, which is a large hotel, still exists until this day, on Place de la République. That's where the Rebbe stays. I heard this from Hadassah Karlbach. And the Rebbe would take Yechidus in the house of Reb Zalman Schneerson. Moreover, this I heard from Reb Zalman Schneerson, that every day after Yechidus, the previous Rebbe would call him in, and he would tell him what he should do. He should call this one or that one, but to the people who already were at Yechidus tonight, and the message he should bring to the people who are going to be at Yechidus tomorrow. This happened every night. This story I heard from Reb Zalman Schneerson. Now, the Avram Sender Nemtsov is in Manchester, England, and he heard that the Rebbe is coming to Paris these days, and the Rebbe will take Yechidus. So he traveled from Manchester to Paris. It's not that far, and he wanted to go into Yechidus, and he got annexed to go into Yechidus. When he went into Yechidus, the previous Rebbe said to him these words: "Du hast gesucht emes, und du hast emes." You were looking for truth, and you have truth. Now these are words of a Rebbe that he said to the Avram Sender Nemtsov. You generally don't hear words like this. That you were looking for emes and you got emes. So here we're talking the Jew who made that exclamation, who made that announcement. First he said, Chassidim will Chassidus, they will no Maimer. And then he said, Yidden mit Hob Maleben. It was not a Jew that was looking to talk. It was not a Jew that was looking for a statement. It was not a Jew that was looking for headlines, for history. It was a Jew that was looking for emes. And this is what he said at that time. And both, Rabbi Yehuda Leib Groner at Tzvi Hirsch Gansburg said, you cannot imagine the emotional excitement that took place in the room after he said these words, Yidden mir hob maleben. You cannot imagine, and I don't even want to try, because I know it's beyond my understanding. This is what happened at that Farbrengen. And as mentioned, after a few moments after the Bavlom Sender made this first announcement that Chassidim want to hear a Maimer. The Rebbe said, Zog the Rebbe, b'mamod li mistalkusei, bosi legani achesi kalo. I came to my garden, achesi kalo, my sister the bride. The Isa b'medrash Rabbe b'mkemi, the medrash Rabbe says, legan in ksivkan elo legani. It doesn't say legan, I came to a garden. I came, elo legani, to my garden. And to my garden means lignuni, to my garden. And what does lignuni mean? Lemokim shehoyo ikri bitchilo, to the place where my iker, my main, the source. I came to my own source. Parenthetically, you can argue. There's a word here, lignuni. What does lignuni mean? To my garden. Arguably, I want to tell you respectfully, there's no word in Hebrew, lignuni. There's a word legani. There's no word lignuni. This word, the Medrash uses especially here, you don't find it any other place, to say that this is not just a garden, this is my garden, and not just my garden. This is the source of my garden. That the main Shechina was in this world. And then the Rebbe says, however, in the Maimer of Yud Shvat Tovshin Yud, the Rebbe says that then there were those people who removed the Shechina. The Shechina was here Lamato. But then the Chetzei Tzadas and the Chatoim Shelach, they removed the Shechina, everyone removed the Shechina above. One removed it from this world into the first Kiyah, into the first heaven, and then after more sins, removed it to the second, and to the third, and to the fourth, and so on. So there were 10 people who removed the Shechina from this world because they have acted, 10 generations acted inappropriately. And then it says, they were 10 tzaddikim who brought down the Shechina. These 10 deities that removed the Shechina were from Odom till Avlom. Every generation, through their bad deeds and their bad actions, removed the Shechina higher and higher away from this world. But then from Avlom started bringing the Shechina back. So Avlom brought the Shechina from the 10th heaven to the 9th, and Yitzchak from the 9th till the 8th, and Yankev from the 8th till the 7th, and so on. And then it says in that Maim, quoting the Medrash, bis is gekommen Moshe Rabbeinu, was is the Shvi. V'chol hashvin chavivin. Till Moshe Rabbeinu came, and he was the 7th, and all 7ths are precious, and he brought the Shechina to this world. However, there's a difference in the melody that the Rebbe employed. Because you would think he would say, bis is gekommen Moshe Rabbeinu, was the Shvi. V'chol hashvin chavivin. That is not the melody the Rebbe used. And the Rebbe used this throughout the years. We used to pay attention to it every Yud Shvat, and it's recorded. The Rebbe said something like this: bis is gekommen Moshe Rabbeinu, was is the Shvi. V'chol hashvin chavivin. It was a different note. So it's one note is until Moshe Rabbeinu, and then the note takes off. There's a new elevation, then a new revelation by Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, it says also, V'isa b'medrash Rabbe b'mkemei. It seems the medrash is in a few places. In medrash Rabbe b'mkemei, it also says, Posach chasnei Reb Menachem. That who said that? His son-in-law, Reb Menachem. Now, wait a minute. Do you need something clearer than this? Chasnei Reb Menachem? On Yud Shvat, his son-in-law, Reb Menachem, exactly what happened. And he is the one who said what the Medrash says. And in this Maimer, We can only learn parts of this Maimed because of the Hagbolah's limitations of time. The Rebbe brings who did the greatest service. You're talking about 7 tzaddikim. Did Avraham do the greatest service? He brought the Shekhinah from the 10th to the 9th? Or Moshe Rabbeinu, who brought the Shekhinah? So the Rebbe here explains that the greatest work was what Moshe Rabbeinu did. Because all the tzaddikim brought the Shekhinah from one heaven to the other, which is not such a big difference, because we're talking Yudakia, it's all spiritual. Moshe Rabbeinu is the one who brought it from the spiritual to the mundane to this world. And this is why Moshe Rabbeinu is Chol Hashvin Chavivin, because he brought down the Shekhinah to this world. Not from one world to the other, which is absolutely wonderful. Nevertheless, it's from one world to the other. It's not from Ruchnius to Gashmius. Moshe Rabbeinu brought it down from the last world to Lamata Ba'oda, to this world. From Ruchnius to Gashmius. From the heavens, from the spiritual to the mundane. And then the Rebbe continues. Kol Hashvin Chavivin. All the sevenths are precious. And it doesn't say Kol HaChavivin Shvin. All those who are precious are seventh. That doesn't say. It doesn't mean that everyone who is precious is a seventh. It says whoever is the seventh is the precious. So the Rebbe takes from this that you should know that the main thing is that he is the seventh. Now, who made the decision that he is the seventh? Not him. He was seventh. He was born the seventh. So it's something that he didn't do. It's inherent. Nevertheless, that is what is precious. And the Rebbe says, what's the specialty with Avraham Avinu? Avraham Avinu, however, we have to remember at all times that we're only the Shvi to the Rishon. Because if there's no Rishon, there's no Shvi. You're only a seventh if there's a first. If there's no first, you're not a seventh. So you're a seventh because you're a first. So the Rebbe always remembered Avraham Avinu and also the Alter Rebbe. We're going to get to that. That we see that even in the Inyan von Shvin Chavivin, you see the Meile of the Rishon. The Rishon was Avraham Avinu, and his Mesiras Nefesh was, and his work was with Mesiras Nefesh. And the Rebbe explains, and Avraham Avinu's work was with Mesiras Nefesh, and it's not that he is looking for the Mesiras Nefesh, because if he is looking for the Mesiras Nefesh, that in itself constitutes a certain problem. Why? Because he's looking for Mesiras Nefesh. He wants to go on Mesiras Nefesh. So there is a certain part of his ego that's looking for it. So the Rebbe says Avraham Avinu didn't look for Mesiras Nefesh. Avraham Avinu did everything he could. He didn't look for Mesiras Nefesh. If the Mesiras Nefesh came his way, and there was no other way of achieving his goal, only with Mesiras Nefesh, so he had that too. But he was not even looking for the Mesiras Nefesh. And in Hebrew, the Eifim, HaMesiras Nefesh Alei Hoyo Shalei Chipas Mesiras Nefesh. He didn't look for the Mesiras Nefesh. And then the Rebbe says these words: Shezeu ha'hefesh bin ha'Mesiras Nefesh de'Avraham Avinu la'Mesiras Nefesh de Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva said that all my years I was waiting for this Mesiras Nefesh. Before he passed away, he says that Mesiras Nefesh, I was waiting for it, all Mesiras Nefesh. Because it says, B'chol vavcho v'chol nafshecho, I always said, Mosai yove liyodi v'aykaimenu. When is this, when am I going to have this opportunity to give away my life for God? So arguably it's the highest noble idea. Says the Rebbe, there's something even more noble when he's not looking for the Mesiras Nefesh. Because if he's looking for the Mesiras Nefesh, he's looking for something for himself. He wants to fulfill something, however exalted, however noble. And this is Rabbi Akiva. However, Avraham Avinu, hine hamesiras nefesh shelihoy b'derech hagav. He didn't look for the Mesiras nefesh; it was incidental. The Avraham yodash ikar aveda, the ikar aveda has to be vayikar Hashem b'shem Havaya keil elam, al tikar vayikar elo vayakari. Avraham Avinu knew that his world, his mission in his life, is vayikar Hashem b'shem Hashem keil elam. And he called Vayit Eishel Be'Shova. He started something in Be'Shova, and there he pronounced the name of God, Keil Elam. And then there's the Medrash that says, Al Tikro Vayikro Elo Vayakri. What is the difference? Vayikro means he called the name of God. Vayakri meant he made others to call the name of God, not only him. As jener soll ich schreien, that someone else should scream, not only he should scream. It's very, very noble when you scream in Keil Elam, you scream the name of Almighty God. But Avraham Avinu wasn't looking for that. He was looking that his neighbors should scream. And in the words of the Rebbe, as jener soll ich schreien, that his neighbor and his friend and the people around him should also scream. And his Meile, says the Rebbe, was so great that Moshe Rabbeinu's Meile, when Moshe Rabbeinu gave us the Torah, can something be greater, was because he was the Shvi, the seventh, to Avraham Avinu. And then the Rebbe says something that's important to each and every single one of us, that we have to learn from Avraham Avinu. And then he says something, and he said it in Yiddish. And he says it in Yiddish, that if you want, as un Eber will, as der Vayikra soll eingehen, that he should, I don't have a better expression, eingehen means he should have it, he should maybe enjoy it. So if you want that the Vayikra soll eingehen, it's an expression in Yiddish that's difficult to translate into one word. But maybe eingehen means that if he wants to incorporate the Vayikra, and he wants to maybe enjoy the Vayikra, so there's only one way of doing it. Only if you're going to achieve the Vayakri. Only if another Jew is going to say. In other words, if you want to achieve the essence of your own Vayikra, that your Vayikra should be done the right way, as much as you're going to try yourself, you're not going to get it. You're going to get it one way. You're going to get another Jew to scream Vayikra, to scream the name of God. You're going to get another Jew to scream Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Then your own Shema Yisrael will be the right way. See, in other words, if you want to get to the zenith and to the fulfillment of your shlichus, it's only going to be if you're going to get another Jew to say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. And this is what we have learned from Avraham Avinu. You also see here, excuse me, that the Rebbe builds two structures. One structure you see, and the other structure is invisible. But it's there. It's there. And the other structure is also something we have to talk about. The structure that you see is the seven tzaddikim that brought the Shechina from the seventh heaven till this world, including Moshe Rabbeinu, as which you said. The structure that you do not see, but it's evident from all corners of the Maimer, that there were seven tzaddikim that are bringing Mashiach down into this world, starting from the Alter Rebbe till this Rebbe. That's the structure that you do not see, and it's evident from all the corners of the Maimer. Generally, in a Maimer, there are no stories. There are very few Maimonim that have stories. Maimonim do not have stories. Sichas have stories. This Maimer has stories from all the Rebbes. Not only that the Rebbe made sure before to mention all the Rebbes in his Maimer, but then he told the story of all the Rebbes. He told the story of the Alter Rebbe, and a story of the Mitteler Rebbe, and a story of the Tzemach Tzedek, and a story of the Rebbe Marash, and a story of the Rebbe Nishma Seiden, and a story of the previous Rebbe. Now, all the stories that that are mentioned here, the many stories you can say about the Rebbes, many, many, many stories about each one. All the stories that are here have the same theme, that they want a Mesilas Nefesh for Ahavas Yisrael, to help another Jew. These were all the stories. So you see over here that the Rebbe is talking about two structures. The structure of the seven tzaddikim from Avram till Moshe, and the structure of the seven Nesiei Chabad, from the Alter Rebbe till this Rebbe, V'chol Hashvin Chavivin, and the Rebbe is the seventh generation from the Alter Rebbe. And therefore, what is the mission of this generation? That if you want to achieve something for yourself, Vayikra, says the Gemara Al Tikra Vayikra, you're not going to get it by Vayikra, you're going to get it by Vayakri. Vayikra means that he called. Vayakri means that he made it to be called by others, as Avraham Avinu did. And this is the second structure that is standing, and this is the structure that we have to understand. That there are seven tzaddikim that are bringing down Moshiach into this world. The seven, starting from the Alter Rebbe, and the Rebbe is the seventh. V'chol Hashvin Chavivin, bringing Mashiach l'peil mamash. And as the Rebbe said in that same Fabringen, after the Maimel, the Rebbe said that there is a custom in America. When you elect a new president, the new president makes a statement as to what his administration is going to achieve. And in the spirit of Azil Lekalto Avad Kinimusa, that when we come to a town, you do as the customs of the town are, the Rebbe is going to do the same. And he's going to announce what his administration, so to speak, is going to achieve. Bias Mashiach Tzidkenu Bepeil Mamish, bringing Mashiach down into this world. That is the structure that's not well seen, but it's there. That's in the Rebbe's Maimel. That our mission, the mission of the Deir Hashvi, is to bring Mashiach Bepeil Mamish. And at the very end, the Rebbe talks about the Plevdik Rebbe, and he says, V'hu Yigolenu, and he will take us out. And as many have said, it's the first Maimel. He's already saying, V'hu Yigolenu, he is going to redeem us. The first Maimel as a Rebbe, as a young man. So the Rebbe didn't make any calculations whether this one is going to like it, someone else is going to like it. Are they going to like it? Are they not going to like it? The Rebbe told us things the way they are. V'hu Yigolenu. And it's known that the Rebbe and the previous Rebbe are one Rebbe. As you see, the connection between the Rebbe and the previous Rebbe was much greater and deeper, if you can say that, than all the Rebbes. How many times did one Rebbe go to the Tzion of the Rebbe before? They went from time to time. They're not as many times as the Rebbe went. The Rebbe went every Erev the Chedesh, that was on the calendar, every 15th of the Chedesh, so that's already twice a month. And then whenever there was a Yom Pagel, and constantly, sometimes he went to the Tzion, to the Eyal every day. So the connection between the Rebbe and the previous Rebbe was on a different plateau than the connection between the previous Rebbes. Because we're talking about one Rebbe. And the same thing is with V'hu Yigolenu. The crux of this is that we live in a special generation. Deir Hashvi, the last generation of Golus, the first generation of Geulah. And our generation is going to be that generation that is going to see the Geulah Amitis V'Hashlemo with our very own eyes. But they are Pachim Ktanim, small vessels that are still left. And this is our mission in this world, to work with these vessels, which means around what to perfect and to elevate and to purify ourselves and our chelik in the world, and collectively, all of us throughout the world, to purify and prepare ourselves and our part of the world around us and the entire world for the Geulah Amitis V'Hashlema, Gesundheit und Freilichkeit. ובעגולו דידן ובשמחה ובטוב לבוב ובטבע נראה והנגלה ולמטה מעשור הטפוחים ובחסד ובלחמים ותקף ומיד ממש.